Welcome back to my little Lemmings Reunion creator commentary again, and today we are going to start with the third rank, Hurt Me Plenty. First level is Passive Ang, which I think caused a bit of trouble to some people at least. So let's load this in. Where do we got it? There. Okay. So basically, the whole thing is you can't get across here with 3 builders, so you need to go the top route. For that we send ahead 2 climbers. Yes, it's probably expected that you must take this route to get up, as we only got 3 builders. We'll use 1 over here, while this guy goes all the way around, and he will patch this gap up. That only leaves us with 1 more builder. He mines the crowd out. This will take a while, so he has enough time to patch this up well. And he obviously need to mine down here first as well. This is safe for a climber. And now he mines out the rest. We'll use the last builder to get across over here. And now we haven't got any more builders left, so we must do without them. Next up we bash. This will bring us over here. I will use the time skip a bit. This also leaves a little ledge, so the climbers will turn around. And we only got 1 of each destructive skill and 1 blocker left, and we will need that blocker. We will let this guy turn, and he will mine the crowd out. I think. No, yes. The timing was I want them to be a little bit closer, so he will mine the crowd out. And he prepares the path to the exit. He will dig here in such a way that the digger is not on solid terrain down here anymore. So we can cancel the digger with a blocker. This is again the, let's say, main trick in this level. Here we can block, he will freeze and bashes to the exit, so no one will walk into that trap anymore. He finishes up mining out the crowd, and everybody can walk home. So let's say this trick I was introduced earlier, but the combination with all the other things made this a little bit unexpected and, well, maybe tripped some people over. And the next one, casualty count. This was a way bigger problem in Lemony, where you had timed bombers, but in Neo Lemmings it should be pretty easy to do. Got a high release rate, only 2 minutes. So we must again multitask a little bit. 5 lemmings will come out of here. No, 6, yes. He will mine down to the steel, so he turns around and builds to the exit, while these 4 lemmings use the bombers to get out the other guys. And this basher must be low enough so the lemmings don't walk over, out and into the traps. That is very important. And also the bombers have to be placed in such a way that they don't splat. So this can be very tricky in Lemony. But here the level in Neo Lemmings the level is much easier. The basher and the miner will collide here. The miner turns around on the steel and the crowd shell should have enough time to get to the exit over here. And the bridge is also finished in time, so everything's good. I have not encountered the situation where you use this method where you ran out of time, so the time limit should not be in the way of any shenanigans. Well, maybe, yes, for shenanigans the time limit should not be enough, but if you use this route you should always be inside the time limit you were given. So the next level, and here comes the lemming train. This is, let's say, a little failure, as I needed to adapt the intended solution quite a bit, and let's say I can't iron out every single alternative route or backward, so I accepting little backwards here, and well, just go with it. I can't fix one without allowing the other. So we dig here, send one climber out to the left, dig again. So the crowd don't walk off into the abysses. Now this guy digs, so the crowd is trapped again. And exactly in the starting part there are a few variations that I cannot disallow, where I cannot disallow every single one of them. Okay, and well, everything else just build over the gap, build over the trap, and also bash to the exit. Also bomb the crowd out. I think this is already a variant I saved as my intentional replay. Because we will have a few skills left over. But at one point I just said, well, screw it, I'm allowing this variance just to think that you need these things to stall the crowd. Oh yes. No, I won't have any skills left over. In my original solution there was a bomber used here, so you can simply bomb the crowd out. And now in my revised version this was already a little backward, but I decided to make this little backward the intended one by simply building and digging here to free the crowd and not using a bomber. As I said, originally you would build over here, make them stop there and use a bomber to get through this bit, but well, that was a pipe dream and I adapted this alternative route. Okay, the next one, the sports bar. This is also one of the more difficult levels because of the tricks used here and at the very start. We turn up the release rate to 99 right away. This is one thing a lot of people don't realize. Well, let's say some people realize it, but they miss the next part. You bash and build with the last lemming, and the second last will be our climber and, well, will simply be an athlete, so he will be delayed on that ball. You can bash through this thing, even with the lemmings clumped up. And now he is delayed, and that will give us time to build a bridge to the left. As we cannot have the blocker disrupting the flow, and well, simply you have to free the blocker or build over the blocker. You cannot allow that. And now the athlete landed on the bridge facing the right, so he can simply build up. I think I learned this trick in I think it was a later level in Moby Lamps. Yes. And well, this level shall introduce that trick. So later we can free the cloud by simply putting a blocker onto that bridge here, so they can walk up. So the blocker is actually the thing that sends the crowd forward instead of holding it back. That's a little twist on that. Usually the blocker is in the way and holds the crowd back, but here he sends them forward. But furthermore, we just have to mine here, build 2 bridges. Now I release the crowd. And here we dig. He will die, as we simply will dig out of the bottom. And they will have enough time to build the last 2 bridges to the exit. And that's it. So the builder trick and the delaying of that last lemming is the main objective that you need to see here. Don't get sucked. Okay. So the level title basically hints that there are quite a few sucker traps here that you have to avoid. We first mine down here. Also block them in. This blocker will be one of the 3 lemmings we can lose. We block out the second last lemming, while he simply builds over to the exit. This blocker can later be freed by bashing under him. And yes, furthermore we need to use the turning miner on a blocker trick here again, as we need that second miner for this part. We blow up the blocker and build over to here. You can also, this blocker part is optional, as you can simply use the last lemming that turns around on this wall here to bash through it. And simply do the bridge later to hold the crowd break. This is also a possibility. So yes, this part is optional, but well, if you just bash here with the last lemming or bash with the bash with the last lemming facing left here, or simply block the last lemming from the hatch out to the left and bash under the blocker later, it doesn't matter. And the last lemming has to, the last lemming we lose bombs under the last trap right before the exit. So we need to free that blocker there. So we can only lose 3 lemmings. One was the blocker turning around the miner, the other one the blocker holding back the hatch and the bottom. Well, we have to use the bomber for the last trap. That's basically it. Just some turning around a miner trick with a little bit of creative getting a lemming ahead and managing your losses. Okay, the next one, Winter Soldiers. This was also a bit harder in the Lemony version, as it used as a little mechanic that was only possible there. We send one guy ahead. The second one blocks. He will later be freed. Or do we? No, he won't be freed. He will be the one that dies. We need all of our destructive skills elsewhere. So basically, in the Lemony version, you will simply build from the edge and turn around at the stalactite. And the builder will leave a little overhang here, so the lemmings on the top can land on this little slab here. But in Neo Lemmings, even if you assign at the very edge here, building to the left, it won't leave a little nip or a little pixel stuck out, so the lemmings on the top can land on it. So I altered it to simply mine on the steel, turn around and build upwards. So in the Lemony version it was possible to save that blocker with a miner then. So these guys are free. He will walk out to the left, but we've got a digger left for him. That's the second little trick used here. They will simply bash to the exit. And as on the right side is only death, he will dig here, create a little ledge on the right side, so he will turn around and leave a smooth wall on the left side, so he can simply climb out right to the exit. Okay. Well, as I said, in the Lemony version, this was a bit harder because of the little knowledge that you had to know for the builder trick, but well. Next level, Night Stalkers. This was also backwarded quite a few times, as I remember. Mainly because of this part. Okay, we dig with the second lemming here to let 2 lemmings be in the digger pit, and they will lead to that we have 2 left-facing lambs and 1 right-facing lambs. One of the 1 left and 1 right-facing lamb will get a floater, while the other one turning to the left will simply bomb, so we can bash under these traps. That's the main thing I want to enforce, that you have to bomb the ground to get under traps. While this guy will patch up this gap. The last guy here will dig down so he can later bomb out the pipe here. He will simply bash out the crowd. This will take quite a long time, so he has enough time to bash under the traps and build to the exit. He needs to bomb. Again, the time limit is just chosen in a way that it won't interfere with the main solution. You can probably leave it out. This shall block any shenanigans here. And well, they can all walk to the exit. And level number 8, Redeeming of the Dead Lemmings. This is obviously a little cascade we made where, well, simply do the 100% solution, let's say. So cascade with no losses. And also quite a much more limited skill set. You build and turn around the first lemming, he will build up to the wall on the left side. The second lemming now from this crowd will, nope, the third one, sorry, will block, so we get 2 guys walking up ahead. As we have to deal with quite a tight timer here, he will build, turn around and build a platform for these guys. That's why we need the third guy to... I want to basically enforce the multitasking here. He will simply bash to the exit now. Well, also build over this little gap here. But he only needs to finish up the platform. I will mine out the main crowd, so the blocker gets saved as well. Builders are just enough to turn him around. And that's it. If you do it this way, there should also be no solution where you run out of time. I think the only way you can run out of time is freeing that blocker very, very late, but, well, I've given a bit of leeway for that. Next one, the Royal Halls. Okay, we've got 3 hatches. He is the first one to patch up this gap while he builds up to here. He will now bash to the right, while he frees the guy stuck on the left. And the main trick I want to enforce here, he will simply bash into the fire, so we need to build and bash here. And the basher will leave a little hole here, so if he reaches that hole, he simply falls down and, well, does not reach the flamer. He will simply mine and build. He bashes and builds to the exit. Also, he has enough time before this guy catches up to him. He just builds over the gap, the other 2 will walk into the exit. And he shall reach the wall a bit low, so he can bash under all of this, free the guy, the one-way wall on the left will stop him. And well, that's it, they can walk to the exit. This is again a level that, well, I didn't want it to feel empty, so I put a lot of decoration and stuff in here. Of course, this can be done in a way tinier landscape. But well, the old lemony days where you want to, well, at least I wanted to make the space feel less empty. Did everyone turn left? Where do we have it? Yes, this is a remake of the old Genesis level. Did everyone turn left as you will. Simply have to put a blocker here. Now you have to save everyone with the same 1 minute timer. But this will be quite a bit more difficult. So the first one simply blocks, letting everyone into the exit. And now, the last lemming mines, and the second last lemming digs in such a way that we will stop at this little notch here, creating a smooth surface for the two lemmings at the bottom now to climb up again. He will mine onto the steel, so he does turn around. And well, that's it. You can also just cut the digger with a blocker if you did not mine this out pixel precise, so this second blocker is basically used to ease the precision. And that's it. Should be able to do this in 1 minute if you do that solution. But yes, this is my little 100% solution to did everyone how's it called? Turn left from the old Genesis level. A Rocky Mountain Knight, and we will do that one in the next video, as I see this is level 11 already. So, until next time, have a nice day.